You probably remember her. She played Chloe Sullivan on Smallville, the smart, witty best friend of young Clark Kent. Her name is Allison Mack. On screen, she was a girl next door. Off screen, though, her story took one of the darkest turns in Hollywood history. Before Smallville, Allison had been acting since she was a kid. Commercials, Disney movies, a few guest roles here and there. She was working hard, always chasing the next opportunity. When she got cast in Smallville in 2001, it felt like her big break. A steady gig, a loyal fan base, and a character that people genuinely loved. She was finally on the map. But even with all the success, something felt off. She couldn't quite explain it. There was this emptiness, this nagging feeling that she wasn't doing enough. Not just professionally, but personally too. Like she had all this potential, but no idea what to do with it. She wanted growth. She wanted purpose. And most of all, she wanted to feel important. That's when someone close to her offered a solution. Kristen Krauk, her Smallville co-star and friend, had gotten involved with a group that promised all those things. It was called NXIVM, pronounced NXIVM. To the outside world, it looked like a self-help organization. They ran workshops and seminars on becoming a better version of yourself. Inner peace, confidence, success. It sounded harmless, even inspiring. So when Kristen invited Allison to come to a session, she was intrigued. It was 2006. Allison was in her mid-20s, still on the show, still figuring things out. She didn't see the harm in trying something new. Just one workshop, just to see. But NXIVM wasn't what it seemed. At first, it felt like any other personal development seminar. There were group discussions, emotional breakthroughs, and a sense of belonging. Everyone there was so motivated, passionate, supportive. They made her feel like she mattered, like she was meant for something bigger. She kept going back. The group had this strange pull, this energy that made it hard to walk away. And at the center of it all was a man named Keith Raniere, the founder, the so-called genius, the visionary. People in the group called him Vanguard. That alone should have been a red flag. But Allison, she was hooked. Keith wasn't flashy. He spoke calmly, like a philosopher. He made people believe he had all the answers. And to someone like Allison, who was lost and hungry for direction, he felt like a guiding light. Within months, she was all in. She started inviting others to join. She gave testimonials. She praised Keith's teachings in public. Slowly, Smallville took a backseat. Her world began to revolve around NXIVM. She wasn't just attending seminars anymore. She was helping lead them. And as she climbed the ranks, she believed she was transforming into the person she was always meant to be. But what she didn't realize was that the deeper she got, the harder it would be to escape. As the years went by, Allison Mack's life began to revolve more and more around NXIVM. What started as a curiosity turned into full-on devotion. She no longer saw it as a self-help group. She saw it as a mission, a purpose, something that gave her the validation she had been searching for even during her peak as a television star. Keith Raniere had a way of making people feel like they were chosen, special. He told Allison that she had the power to help change lives, that she could become a leader in the movement. And Allison believed him. By this point, Smallville had wrapped. The show that had made her a household name was gone, and so were the routines and fame that came with it. Allison wasn't landing big roles anymore, and instead of chasing auditions, she spent her time immersed in NXIVM. She started helping Keith recruit more people, speaking at events, and producing promotional videos for the group. She talked about how NXIVM had changed her life and claimed it helped her build strong, meaningful relationships. But behind the scenes, things were getting darker. Around 2015, Keith introduced Allison to something he called DOS. It stood for Dominus Obsequiae Sororium, which roughly translates to Master over Slave Women. According to Keith, it was a secret inner circle within NXIVM. He told Allison it was about building discipline, strength, and trust among women. But the truth was far more twisted. Keith made himself the top master of this group, and he gave Allison position as one of the first-line masters under him. Her job? To recruit other women into DOS. She was told to find women who were loyal, trusting, and willing to grow. But once these women were in, they were forced to hand over what the group called collateral, nudes, personal secrets, or even sign confessions to things they didn't actually do. It was all used as blackmail in case they ever thought about leaving or speaking out. Allison would tell these women that they were joining a mentorship program for strong, empowered women. She told them it was a movement designed to help them succeed in life. But in reality, once they were deep enough in, they were told about the true nature of DOS. They were expected to obey their master, do whatever they were told. That included things like strict diets, waking up at all hours, doing chores, and even sexual acts. And worst of all, many were branded. Yes, branded. The women were taken to secret locations where a cauterizing pen was used to burn a symbol near their pelvis. They were told it was a sign of strength and sisterhood. But it wasn't until later that many realized the symbol was actually a combination of Keith Raniere's and Allison Mack's initials. To outsiders, Allison was still seen as a friendly, girl-next-door star from Smallville. But inside NXIVM, she was becoming someone entirely different. She was no longer just a follower. She was a recruiter, a master, and a key player in one of the most disturbing operations the group had ever created. And it didn't stop there. Allison reportedly tried to recruit other celebrities as well. She reached out to Emma Watson on Twitter multiple times, telling her she was part of a women's movement and wanted to connect. She also tried to contact singer Kelly Clarkson. Both women ignored her messages, but it shows just how far Allison was willing to go to grow DOS and prove her loyalty to Keith. To many people watching from the outside, it looked like Allison had found a cause she believed in. But to those trapped inside, she had become part of the system that controlled, punished, and broke people down, all while claiming it was about empowerment. And the worst part? At that time, she didn't see anything wrong with it. By 2017, rumors about NXIVM started spreading. People who had once been part of the group were now speaking out. They described a secret group inside NXIVM where women were treated like slaves, forced to follow strict rules, and even branded with someone's initials. The news shocked the public. A report from the New York Times broke the story wide open. It talked about women being forced to give up private information, photos, and more just to stay in the group. It also revealed that these women were told to call their leaders master and to ask for permission to eat or sleep. And right in the middle of all of it was Allison Mack. Her name came up again and again. People said she wasn't just part of DOS. She helped run it. She had brought in new women, convinced them to join, and made sure they followed the rules. Some even said she helped organize the branding ceremonies. As the truth came out, the FBI started watching. In early 2018, Keith Raniere was found hiding in Mexico. When agents arrested him, Allison Mack was with him. Soon after, she was arrested too. She was taken into custody and charged with crimes like sex trafficking, forced labor, and conspiracy. At her court hearing, people were stunned. The same woman they had once watched on TV as a sweet, smart best friend now stood before a judge in handcuffs, accused of terrible things. Allison was quiet during her first appearance in court. Her lawyer said she was not guilty, but prosecutors said she played a big role in the crimes. They said she wasn't just following orders, she gave them. She made women believe they were joining something powerful and life-changing. Instead, they were tricked, hurt, and used. Some of the women said Allison made their lives feel like a nightmare. One woman said Allison told her to be ready at all hours of the night, and if she didn't answer texts right away, she would be punished. Another said Allison made her feel worthless and scared. People couldn't understand how a TV star could become someone who hurt others so badly. While Allison waited for her trial, more people started to come forward. Old members of NXIVM shared their stories. Some said they were proud of her arrest. Others said they were sad because they remembered her as someone kind before the group changed her. Slowly, Allison started to understand what she had done. At first, she didn't believe she had done anything wrong. She thought she was helping women become stronger. But as more stories came out, and as she spent more time away from Keith and the group, her thought began to change. In 2019, Allison made a big decision. She stood in court and admitted what she had done. She said she was sorry. She told the judge she now saw how wrong it was to bring women into DOS. She said she thought she was helping people, but now she understood that she had caused pain and damage. It was a shocking moment for everyone in the courtroom. Allison Mack, once a star on Smallville, had now admitted to helping run a secret group that abused women. She had gone from actress to criminal. and for the first time, she seemed to truly regret it. But even with her apology, the damage was already done. After Allison Mack admitted her role in the NXIVM cult, the world saw her in a new light. She had once been a rising TV star with fans all over the world. Now, she was a convicted criminal. Her confession shocked many people. Some were angry, others were heartbroken. During her sentencing, Allison stood in front of the judge with tears in her eyes. She apologized again, not just to the court, but to the women she had hurt. She said she felt ashamed of her choices and couldn't believe how far she had fallen. She said she had trusted the wrong person, Keith Raniere, and allowed herself to become someone she didn't recognize. The judge listened carefully, but he also had to consider the pain caused by her actions. Many of the victims had already spoken about what they went through. Some said they still had nightmares. Others said they lost years of their lives. One woman even said she no longer trusted anyone because of what happened in DOS. When it was time to decide her punishment, the judge took everything into account. Unlike Keith Raniere, who showed no regret and was sentenced to 120 years in prison, Allison had taken responsibility. She had helped the FBI, gave information, and admitted to her crimes. Because of that, in 2021, the judge sentenced Allison Mack to 3 years in prison. She also had to pay a fine and serve time under supervision after her release. It was a shorter sentence than some expected. But for Allison, it still felt like the end of her old life. She reported to prison in California. Behind bars, she kept a low profile. She read books, wrote letters, and stayed out of trouble. According to reports, she spent time thinking about her past and the people she hurt. She no longer believed in Keith Raniere. In fact, she said she now saw him for what he really was, a manipulative man who used people for his own gain. In July 2023, Allison Mack was released early for good behavior, but her life was never going to be the same again. After prison, she stayed quiet. No interviews, no statements, no return to acting. She disappeared from the spotlight, and maybe that was for the best, because even though she was free, the scars from NXIVM would never fully heal, for her or for the victims. The story of Allison Mack is a powerful reminder how easily someone can be pulled into something dark when they are searching for purpose. She was smart, talented, and full of promise, but she lost herself chasing something she thought was meaningful. In the end, it wasn't just a career that ended. It was a reputation, her freedom, and the trust people once had in her. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more real life stories that dive deep into the hidden truths behind headlines. Got any thoughts on this case? Let's talk about it in the comments. Was justice served, or should her punishment have been more severe? Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and don't believe everything you're told. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. I'll see you in the next one.